What's good in the hood, YouTube? This is Crazy Samurai, signing on here bringing you another video. Today I wanted to do a video on Pokemon Go, which has been a game that's been talked about a little bit recently due to the fact that there was something that went on at SGXWX or whatever it was, some event which originally there was supposed to be another event to showcase Pokemon Go, but apparently there was some footage that has been shown off. People have seen clips and stuff, and it looked really rough. Personally, I wasn't a big fan. Now, still, I'm not a huge fan right now, but I'm still hoping that the game does well. Apparently, there's something like $37 million have, or so, or something like that, have been put into this game. And, you know, this game has that whole entire aspect of, like, taking the real world and, like, oh, if you're in this location, then you'll get, like, this Pokemon if you're there, or whatever. And that's great, and, you know, it has that whole entire, based on the map, you'll fight this or whatever, and you know there's that whole entire, like, you know, Google Earth, Google Maps kind of aspect to it, which, you know, is obviously smart, and you obviously need to include when you're playing the game. It will probably give you the question if you haven't set it up to, like, include your location so that your phone can track where you are and all that. And the thing is that one of the things that that I'm hoping for, and I'm a little bit worried for, because I really don't want it to be something that I'm expecting it to be, is that the game so far kind of seems like it's just going to be a catching session all the time, and it scares me, because really I don't want it to just be catch. Oh, if you're here, then you catch. If you're here, then you catch, and you can catch this or whatever. And, you know, that's fine to be able to catch all that stuff, and I'm guessing they'll probably have a trading aspect. No question there. I guarantee there'll be trading aspects, like, you went here and you got that. That's awesome. Now I don't have to go all the way over there and get that. Now now I don't have to go there today. I've traded with a friend, and that is definitely going to happen, I'm sure. But battling, I'm hoping we're going to get some battling action in this game, and I'm hoping, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like, you know, regular battling, but I think that would be something kind of nice to just add in or something like that. It doesn't have to, I mean, it'd be nice if they also added a story. Is it necessary? Not necessarily, but it would be very cool to add, you know, a story aspect to it. For those that are curious as to why this game is happening, well, one of the reasons, which I think is very smart, is the fact that, as many people will know, not everyone can afford these games due to the fact that the consoles themselves are not necessarily super cheap. You know, these consoles cost around $170 to about like $200-ish for like a 3DS or something like that. If you're getting the new one, it's going to cost more. If you're getting a regular 3DS, it's going to cost about or 170-ish or something like that. And then the XL is like around that as well. So, you know, it's that 150-ish to about 200-ish range or something like that. And it's not cheap. And on top of that, the games. Say you wanted to get, let's just say X and Y, right? Or Auras, any of those games. Let's say you want to get both. It's $80 down the drain right there. If you want to get all 4 Auras, both versions, X and Y, both versions, $160 on top of buying the game, you're spending $300 some odd dollars. No. Most people are not going to be doing that unless they have a lot of games that they want, or they intentionally want to buy this. Now, obviously, there are people who have, and still will, if they haven't, purchase the console or the game, and will purchase the console and the game still, and or may have already. Now, that's cool, and I have done both of which myself. I have, you know, I have most of the Pokemon games, and I enjoy them all. But this is not for everyone. A phone, on the other hand, is something that most people, on the other hand, will have, because it is something that you most of the time kind of need to have. You know, it's become a daily necessity, and it's something that you regularly use. And the thing is that because more people have phones than they have 3DSs and stuff, they realize, what's a way for us to connect with those people that maybe like Pokemon and like our franchise, but can't necessarily purchase the games and purchase the consoles due to the fact that they don't have the money. Oh, let's create a phone game. That's where we come in. And that's really the big reason, and I think it's brilliant, because, you know, not everyone can afford these consoles and games, because they're not cheap and not everyone has the money when they want them. So it's very smart for them to do this, because that way people don't necessarily have to buy a whole console. They can buy a phone game. And I think that as a whole, it's a really smart idea that needs to be taken into consideration as to why this game is even coming out. And personally, I'm hoping this game is done up well. You know, supposedly it's supposed to be coming out at the end of the year. Look, the trailer images that we've seen, I mean the video stuff, hopefully by that point it will look much better, and people who have been complaining about it will be able to not complain about it, because they'll see that the game has been fixed, improved in some ways. I mean, look, the sprites of the game characters look perfectly fine. I just hope that the game itself, you know, is interesting, it's entertaining, and, you know, it has enough going on that it isn't a game that's going to be boring. I'm sure there's going to be in-game transactions in regard to, like, you know, you can spend $50 to get, like, 20 Master Balls, or like, you know, 1,000, you know, or you can spend $15 to get like 100 Pokeballs or something like that. I'm sure they're going to do stuff like that with in-game transactions, where you'll be able to use your credit card or your debit card to, you know, get a huge amount of Pokeballs or Master Balls or whatever. I'm sure that's going to be a thing. One thing I do have to note is that there is a level, is that if you've seen the images, it will show a level of that Pokemon that you caught, which does give me that sense that there must be something you can do with it other than just catch it. I'm sure there's going to be a way for you to battle with it or something, because why else would you have levels if you're just going to catch it? So that's something to consider, but it is something that is interesting to know. But the one thing I do also want to note is that there was no, like, mentioned, like, moves or whatever, which is something that I was kind of confused about, and that's part of the reason why I wasn't sure. Obviously, still very early, and the images and the clips that we've seen, and there's also been some clips and some images that were shown off today, which I'll probably have shown at some point. Not necessarily today. When I decided to post this, and the thing is that, you know, it's still early. The game is still in early development, clearly. You know, there's a lot of stuff that obviously must have been done, but it's still a work in progress, and hopefully as the game gets closer and closer, and, you know, as events come up like E3 and all that, and more Nintendo Directs occur, hopefully we'll get more knowledge and more information regarding it, and get a better sense of what to expect for this game, and hopefully over time it becomes a game that people tend to look at, and rather than say, oh, this game looks kind of bad, it becomes a game that people go out of their way to get on their phones and say, oh, this game is worth it. It's not, either it costs nothing or it costs money, which hopefully it's probably going to most likely cost nothing, because I would think they would charge nothing, and then in-game transactions would come into play in that case. We'll see. I just hope there's no energy system, or, like, you know, something along those lines, because energy systems, though smart, not every game needs them, and I think that this game really shouldn't have it, because, you know, if you're just traveling and maybe there's something really unique that you could catch, what if you're just driving by? What if you're doing something like that and you wanted to catch a certain Pokemon that you could only get at that certain location, and you're driving by? How are you going to do it then? That's my point. I personally am hoping that it's not going to be that kind of a system. At the same time, I do understand if it's a game, if they have to create some limitation due to the fact that, you know, otherwise you're just going to get the same things over and over again, and maybe it's like, okay, well, unless you want to keep on getting stuff, then you have to move to another location, or give some warning or something like that. But obviously people are going to try to catch as many as they can, because, you know, you got to catch them all. And hopefully every generation will be taken into consideration, or most. I really hope all, obviously, but we have to wait and see. Maybe there'll be some interaction between Sun and Moon and Go. No idea yet, but there's a lot of theories, a lot of speculation on my part and a lot of people's parts, and, you know, you have to wonder what they're going to do, how this game is going to work out, and all that and more. So please leave your comments below. What do you guys think? Are you excited about Pokemon Go, or is this a game that right now at least you're not interested in? I would love to know all that below. Please leave your comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys then, and goodbye, guys.